Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and Salam Sejahtera. It is with my utmost regret that I cannot be with all of you today at the Malaysian SDG Summit 2019. However, I would like to take this opportunity to convey a short message on Malaysia's journey towards unlocking women's full potential, a crucial and cross-cutting feature of the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals agenda. It is critical not just to the achievement of the SDG 5, but it is closely linked to the achievement of all 17 SDGs. The Global Gender Gap Index measures gender-based disparities in four main areas: economic participation and opportunity, educational attainment, health and survival, and political empowerment. Since the forum began monitoring women's progress through the Global Gender Gap Index, the gender gap has closed by 12% from 56% in 2006 to 68% parity overall in 2018. That is 12% in 12 years, and we have a 32% gender gap remaining with less than 12 years to achieve our goal. That is why all of us, both women and men, need to look closely at the policy intricacies at hand and understand that what is hindering us from creating a faster pace of change. Policymakers need to explore new technological tools that may enable us to understand and measure our efforts in new ways. We need to explore new collaborations and partnerships to enable us to ramp up our efforts towards reform and change. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to report some of the progress Malaysia has made in the Global Gender Gap Report of 2018. Malaysia is ranked one of the highest achieving countries in women's educational attainment. In 2018, the female enrollment rate in tertiary education was 48% compared to 38% of men. And girls consistently outperform boys in standardized learning assessments including math and science. Throughout the world, female researchers are underrepresented. But, however, in Malaysia, it's quite different, where almost half of all Malaysian researchers are women. The United Nations has generously acknowledged Malaysia to be a world leader in encouraging girls and women to participate in science. Despite these achievements, Malaysia has struggled to unlock women's full potential beyond educational attainment. At the female labour force participation of 55.2%, women represent an underutilised source of talent for Malaysia as it aims to become a high-income and developed nation. All around the world, women are laden with a double burden. That is, women participate equally in paid employment, but spend a bigger proportion of their time on unpaid care work compared to men. On the other hand, many women are forced to sacrifice their abilities to join formal paid employment due to responsibilities in the home. Out of economic necessity, some of these women resort to working in informal settings, risking their safety, well-being and incomes being protected. These are the issues that my ministry, the Women, Family and Community Development Ministry, is studying closely. While we have steadily increased female labour force participation since 2010, there remain significant gaps between men's and women's economic opportunities. Many studies have proven the economic case for closing these gaps. The World Bank estimates that removing barriers to women's economic participation could increase income per capita by 23.7% in the short term and up to 26.2% in the long term. This implies an average income gain of about 9,400 ringgit for each Malaysian each year. The power of gender parity also cannot be denied. In addition to boosting economic growth, gender parity also increases women's physical security, well-being and autonomy. In that regard, my ministry is working tirelessly to draft 2 pieces of legislation aimed at increasing protection for women. First, a bill to prohibit all forms of discrimination against women. And second, a bill to address the issue of sexual harassment within and outside the workplace. Additionally, the Ministry of Human Resources is working to strengthen protection for women and families under the Employment Act, including extending paid maternity leave and introducing paid paternity leave. The government's recent budget announcement also shows our commitment to investing in women's active engagement in the economy. For women who have been outside the workforce and wish to return to work, wage and hiring incentives have been put in place under the Women at Work program, on top of the ongoing income tax exemption for women who return to work. Women are also encouraged to explore entrepreneurship and e-commerce through the SME Bank Fund for Women Entrepreneurs and through programs such as e-Rizki and Global Online Workforce (GLOW) by the Malaysia Digital Economic Corporation (MDEC), aimed at digitally enabling women's participation in the economy. At the same time, the government is also determined to eliminate the barriers for women to engage in the economy. Unfortunately, the current reality is that care burdens still fall largely on the women's shoulders. Therefore, the government has committed to investing more public resources in providing accessible and affordable childcare to encourage and support women to remain in the workforce while caring for their young ones. In addition to more funding for public childcare in 2020, we aim to incentivize the development of affordable private childcare by offering subsidized electricity bill rates for registered operators. We also began studying how best to expand social protection to informal workers, especially women in the informal sector. And in an effort to recognize unpaid care in the home, unpaid care work in the home, the government has allocated significant resources to further extend the benefits under the iSuri program, which aims to provide a form of safety net for housewives and protect them in their old age. These are some of the government's priorities to address sources of gender disparities. Of course, there are other indicators towards achieving SDG 5 that the government is also actively pursuing. One such area that offers tremendous potential is that the use of technology to promote the empowerment of girls and women, and my ministry has been actively exploring new technological tools to improve our policies and interventions, such as disseminating sexual and reproductive health education materials through our Cafe at Teen mobile application, gathering public input on sexual harassment via a mass online survey that was shared on social media. 3. Spatial mapping of various social issues, including teenage pregnancy. Additionally, the recent completion of my ministry's gender mainstreaming framework, done in collaboration with the United Nations, will focus on the key role of sex disaggregated data in integrating gender perspectives and targets into all government's planning and budgeting. This effort mirrors the importance of gender mainstreaming across all 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Ladies and gentlemen, despite our tremendous economic growth and progress in women empowerment in the past decades, no one country has achieved full gender equality. It is a challenge that requires the commitment and ownership of all stakeholders, of every human being. Before I end, I would like to reiterate the importance of partnerships in our effort to unlock women's full potential. There are separate roles for the states, the market, and the family in meeting this challenge. Without consensus and partnerships between businesses, employers, individuals, without men and feathers, we will struggle to achieve this goal. Without partnerships, women will continue to face the double burden, to be hindered from achieving their full potential in economy and society. Together, let us foster a public discussion about the values underlying gender disparities in the labour market and in society. Together, let us commit to achieving Sustainable Development Goal 5 in Malaysia and the world. Thank you.